Welcome to part 2 of my series about restoring a Bentley Arnage. In case you missed part 1, I'll provide a link right up here and in the comment section below. To bring you up to date, I've now addressed all the mechanical and functional items of the 05 Arnage, and the total invested at this point is $92,141. But wait, there's still more items to address. In this video, I'll show you how I replaced the old factory stereo, refreshed the interior leathers, and protected the exterior. Now, one modification I made early in the process was to remove the audio system and replace it with a Pioneer model that includes Apple CarPlay. I felt this was the easiest method ever for allowing for streaming and for using GPS apps such as Waze, Google, and Apple Maps. I used Brayman's go-to electronics installer, Technicar in West Palm Beach for this work. Now, since the dash is surrounded by gorgeous wood, I felt it would be best to use an installer that had experience with this car and one that was dealer approved. Fortunately, this installation went perfectly and I'm happy with the result. I'm sure some will ask if I can still close the lid with this unit installed. Well, sadly I can't, as the unit's around 1/4 inch too deep. But that's not a problem, as this unit features a screen that automatically extends when the key is turned on and retracts when the key is off. So other than when it's parked, well, you don't see the unit. Also, when the screen is extended, I still have a clear view of the gauges from the driver's seat. I also used the same company to replace the backup camera and connect it to the CarPlay unit, as well as to replace a piece of trim around the trunk. Technicar also added a USB port for the phone connection in the cigarette lighter area. For the convenience, I purchased a wireless CarPlay unit from Crutchfield for $175 and a Scotch mount from Amazon for $15. Trust me, it was challenging finding a mount that would not take away from any of the aesthetics of the car while being easy to access. This way, I can attach the phone magnetically and without wires. However, if the phone's battery is too low, I can use a cable to attach it to the USB part, as it will charge while connecting to the CarPlay unit. I decided to keep the original equipment in the trunk for historical purposes and was able to use the existing speakers. I will say the audio sounds great and I'm happy that I went this route. I'll add that I think that this audio setup sounds better in the Arnage than the factory unit that was included in the Bentley Bentayga I owned a few years ago. The total cost of Technicar's work was $5,525, and the total to this point is $95,706. Now that all the mechanical and audio issues have been successfully addressed, the next step in the process was refreshing the interior. Fortunately, it was in pretty good shape to begin with, but I was striving for perfection. The go-to upholstery shop in Central Florida is Dickey's in Longwood, and here's Lane Dickey with his assessment.
So we're looking at Andy's 2005 Bentley here. When I first talked to him, I didn't know what to expect. You know, when you hear 05, you're thinking it might need a lot of work, but luckily this car's looks like it's been babied its whole life. And really, I think all it really needs is just some minor refurbishing, probably re-steam a lot of the leather, try to get it looking back to new. And with this, that's really all we have to do. The plan is to come in and lightly sand a lot of the leather. If we see any cracks, we're going to fill them in with leather filler. Then we're going to re-sand it. Then put a grip base on the leather so the dye actually sticks well to the leather. And then after that, we're going to cure it all. And once you do that, you should be able to get hopefully at least another 8 to 10 years out of it. And I mean, I'm pretty sure this thing's going to be well taken care of too. So should turn out really nice. Pretty excited to see what it looks like. And I think we should be able to make Andy happy.
And here's what it looks like after Dickey's worked their magic. I then asked Lane's opinion about the challenge of working with light versus dark interiors.
You know, the light color leather is actually better to work with, we feel like, because you notice it a lot more. The light color leather, after you give it basically a simple clean, it already looks a lot better. And then the dye actually just fills in a lot of the cracks on its own. You don't really need to use as much leather filler or anything like that as opposed to black. Like if you had black leather, it still would turn out good, but it wouldn't be as nice, you know, as with the light beige interior like what you have now, almost like that light cream. We actually prefer working on light beige and light gray interiors because you notice such a difference in the refurbishing process.
And what does he recommend for ongoing maintenance of high quality leathers?
I probably wouldn't do anything as of right now. You know, maybe in like 6 months, we always recommend Lexol on real leather interiors, the cleaner and the protectant. That stuff holds up really nice. But yeah, you're probably good for at least probably 4 to 5 months. You know, just keep letting that leather cure and just keep letting it soak in, and you should get a lot of life out of this.
The price for the interior work was $750. Now that the interior work has been completed, there's one more step, and that's in dressing the exterior. When I purchased this car from the Mecum auction, there were some tiny rock chips around the front end, but the folks of Bremen took care of them at no charge. However, it was my goal to revitalize and protect the exterior. In Central Florida, the go-to place for this type of work is Empire Auto Spa, coincidentally just down the street from Dickey's in Longwood. Now, I'm a big fan of ceramic coatings and paint protection film, so I turned to Sean for his advice.
This is a Bentley, so the owner of it did everything they could to maintain it, and really and truly, as far as condition goes, I wish all 2005 cars were in the condition of this one. Really, overall, it is beautiful. This is a car that harkens back to what Bentleys used to be. In fact, this is kind of one of the last great Bentleys, in my opinion. Now, again, it's an '05, and because of its age, well, when we got it, there were definitely some issues with it. And right now, I want to address those with you. The interior of this is fantastic. It definitely gives you that luxurious estate feel the second you get in the back of it. Has a bunch of very unique interior characteristics too. And the nice thing about this Arnage in particular is that they all work very well. Huge plus. So what the owner wanted was everything just to be brought back as well as possible. So it was our job to come through and make the outside look as good as the inside does. And that's where the paint protection film came in. Now, this vehicle is a completely custom installation. There are no patterns for a vehicle like this. So the paint protection film was all bulk cut. Bulk cut just simply means that one large piece is put down, it is trimmed around, and every inch of the vehicle is custom installed. Now, another thing I want to point out to you is the unique fender on this automobile. Now, if you're not installing paint protection film on it, you probably don't notice this. But one of the challenges that this fender creates is it is so large and just a single piece. Let's take a look at it. So it's not until you have to put paint protection film on it that you start noticing the fender starts all the way over there, and then it actually stretches and comes all the way up and around into the front grille of the automobile. Actually really unique. It was one of those things that until we started looking at it, we were like, we didn't even notice it. But now, when I step away and you take a look at the front end of the automobile, it actually really adds a lot of character to it. That full wraparound front end, well, ironically, it kind of feels a little Rolls-Royce-y to me. Don't tell Bentley I said that, but overall, a lot of fun to work on this automobile. We went through all of it, polished all of the relevant sections, touched all of the bright work. The bright work got a nice little polish to it as well. Put paint protection film on the full front end of the vehicle, revitalized all of the wheels, all of the badges. So once again, the '05 is back to beautiful. I mean, this thing literally looks amazing, and I'd be willing to bet that the average person thinks that this is a brand new model from Bentley. Really, really well done. Great job, Bentley.
So to recap, the team at Empire polished the entire exterior. They ceramic coated 2/3 of the car and then applied the SunTech film to the front third. This graphic from the SunTech website provides an example of where the film was placed. Now, while I've used other self-healing film brands in the past, this is the first time that I used this SunTech product that incorporates a ceramic coating. I'll add that my favorite feature of ceramic coating is that it makes cleanup a breeze, and it seems that cars stayed cleaner and longer between washes. The cost at Empire was $5,778, and that brings the grand total to $103,733. So am I crazy, or did I just fulfill a lifelong dream? You be the judge. I have one more video in this series where I'll show you what it's like to drive a Bentley Arnage and show you some of its unique features. I'll also share with you the results of the professional appraisal I had performed after all the work was completed. Now, here's a link to part 3 of this video, and if you missed it, here's a link to part 1, where I discuss all the mechanical challenges. That's it for now. I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr.